Well, good morning and welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder, and this is BRN AM for Monday, June 8th, 2020. And our top story today, PPP stories, big banks let small businesses down. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Paula Fargo. She is the president of Curry Printing. Paula, thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Hi, Jeff.
It's great to have you on. And before we kind of jump into the Paycheck Protection Program, let's talk a little bit about Curry Printing, who you are, and also how you've evolved and dealt with this horrific pandemic.
Sure. Thanks for asking. I'm a second generation printer, actually probably more like a third or fourth generation printer, but my particular business was founded by my mother in the 70s, and I came to work here after I got my MBA in the 80s, and I bought it from her in 1993, and I've been the owner ever since. So, 30 years or so.
Wow, that's a lot of experience. It's a lot of experience.
It is, and I'm still learning every day, which is one of the things I like about owning my own business and actually being in the printing industry. As a printer, we're kind of hit in a lot of different ways by the pandemic. We have, on the one hand, we're very event driven. So we print a lot of invitations, signage, giveaways for events all over the country. And that, of course, has come to a grinding halt.
Yep.
So that business is just gone and never coming back. It's not like there's going to be some, pent up demand for all those canceled events. If they happen in the future, it's just an event that I probably would have done anyway. So that business is all lost.
Right.
On the other hand, we are considered an essential business by the government. Of course, my personal view is that any business is essential to that owner and their employees, but whatever. We're considered essential by the government. We're allowed to come to work, obviously taking precautions, and we were only closed for one day during the entire pandemic so far, just when the government announced its shutdown in the state of Maryland. There wasn't specific guidance saying that printers could stay open, and rather than just err on the side of caution, we closed for one day, but I was there the next day after I got some guidance from people in the government that printers are considered essential. We do printing for hospitals and clinics and other essential businesses that are allowed to stay open.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, we're doing jobs that we wouldn't normally have been doing. So I'll say, I don't want to sound ungrateful. It's better than nothing,
Sure.
But it's certainly not to where, we would have been otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this has an impact on families, has an impact on staff. I mean, it just has this horrific trickle or domino effect with so many. Now, you had an experience and how you and I met. I had actually read an article in my home paper, the Baltimore Sun. I think you had written about your experience in the Paycheck Protection Program. So this is a program, and many of our viewers and listeners are aware of this because we've covered it in numerous ways. But this allows businesses, especially small businesses, to access money from the government and effectively take a loan as long as they provide money, or as long as they provide, majority goes to payroll. So what was your experience with the aforementioned PPP?
Sure, thanks. The op-ed I wrote in the Sun did, garner a lot of comments from people, mostly conciliatory, like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. My company, I had decided early on that I was not going to be letting anyone go, reducing hours, or furloughing anyone. I kept my staff on 40 hours. Every single person that was employed at the beginning of this is still employed. And we've been working around individuals' levels of comfort, security, health, And I've had stuff for people to do every single day. They're not kicking butt like they normally are,
Sure.
but they're doing something to benefit the company. They're taking online classes, they're doing some cleaning, they're doing training, they're cross-training. We're learning new equipment. We actually had purchased 2 new pieces of equipment in February. Great timing. So they had a chance to, to learn that equipment. We did some rearranging. So we've been doing things to help benefit the company in a way that when this is all over, we should be stronger and benefit from that. But because of that, I felt like, my company was really deserving of getting this PPP loan. I know there's been a lot of monkey business with, various companies, using the low cost aspect of it to, to pay off more expensive debt or, whatever it is to jockey themselves into a better financial situation. I get it. It's, it's tempting. I'm not sure what kind of oversight there is, but that's not really what the money was meant for.
Yeah.
It was meant to protect the paychecks of your staff. If there wasn't a paycheck protection program, I would have been going into my savings, but that was a decision that I had already made that I'm going to protect my staff. I've worked too hard to get the right people in the right seats to, to break up the band and then hope we can get back together at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that. That all said, I belong to a print owners listserv, which is a national association, loose association of people like me, people that own smaller printing companies. And there was lots of buzz about this paycheck protection program. People were saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. I checked with my bank, which was PNC, and I'd been with them for almost 10 years. I had a business banker, I had a personal banker. I've had lending relationships. At the point that this happened, I didn't have any outstanding debt with them, but I'd had lending relationships in the past, and I wasn't a stranger to anyone there. And there was very little information forthcoming from PNC about this impending PPP. So I had to do research on my own, probably like every other small business owner in America. The bank's portal had some information, so I proactively gathered so much stuff that I would need, that the bank said that I would need to apply for this loan. I checked with my accountant, vetted everything through him. I was good to go. When the PPP was, I guess, became active on a Friday, the PNC portal was not active. It didn't become active until Saturday. I, jumped in my car, drove to the office, started uploading everything, and it was like nothing what they had said they needed.
Right.
I don't have a payroll company. I do my own payroll. I have, a dozen people that do my own payroll. So I couldn't just go to some easy report that anyone could recognize, some ADP report,
right,
and say, okay, yeah, here it is. I had to kind of recreate all this stuff, but I did it. The website kept crashing, forcing me to start over. You have to put in 12 months of data. I get to October, the website would crash, starting over at January again. Definitely took years off my life.
Yeah.
Finally, got it in. It was not user friendly. The forms were difficult, and anyway, I hope for the best.
Yep.
Days, I heard nothing. My friends on the listserv, oh, my bank said that I was approved for funds. Oh, my bank contacted me, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I texted my bankers, emailed. They responded with, I can't help you. I can't help you. I'm in a different department now. I'm not allowed to give that information. Just look at the portal. And the portal was looking at, a static billboard. It never changed.
Yeah, it sounds like Paula, that there just wasn't a lot of preparation. Paula, I want to go to a quick break, and
Sure.
and we can cover this in the second segment. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Paula more about her PPP experience, and then check in on how her business is doing today and how she expects things to change or not change with the reopening in Maryland. So stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
The windows on our homes, they protect us and the ones we love, but they do much more. At Renewal by Andersen, making your home more comfortable is at the center of every window we make. It's why we custom build our windows in America and install them in as little as 1 day. It's why we build our frames with exclusive FIBREX composite material that's 2 times stronger than vinyl. It's why our glass helps keep your home warmer in winter, cooler in summer, and quieter all year long. It's why we stand behind every window with a 20-year limited warranty. Why not help lower your energy costs while giving your home and family the best? Call 1-800-835-6525 to schedule a free in-home consultation. Buy one, get one at 40% off with this special offer. Plus, get special financing with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 1 full year. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Call 1-800-835-6525 now.
Welcome back. We're talking to Paula Fargo. She is the president of Curry Printing. Paula, thanks so much for sticking around with us this morning.
Pleasure.
So we had to go to a commercial break, but you were just at the point where the PNC website, the PPP website for PNC crashed. So what can you tell us? I mean, that must have you're seeing all your friends on the listserv, all the fellow printers around the United States getting these loans. Has to frustrate you a bit, has to, say, why not me in some ways? How did you respond to all this?
I'm trying hard to remember a more stressful time in my life, and I can't do it. I was even audited by the IRS after I owned my business for a year. I was like 28 years old, and even that wasn't more stressful than this.
I bet.
At that point, no one knew anything. No one knew that there was going to be another release of funds. No one knew that you could go to a bank other than your own bank. All the guidance was banks are only giving money to companies that they have a relationship with. So I'm stuck with this unresponsive bank, and I would call, email every day, nothing, and now I'm thinking about my competitors. what if they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars and I'm into my own pocket? Or what if I didn't have a pocket?
Sure.
You know, how right is that? It's not right. And I was just having sleepless nights.
Yeah, I bet. And so how did you respond to this roadblock?
I finally got an email at 2 a.m. from pnccares.com, which I find quite ironic. And they said, you didn't upload your payroll information. I'm like, I did, but whatever, I'll do it again, that's fine. So I uploaded it again, and they said, don't ask any questions on this email, just send the information.
Okay.
So they sent an email back and said, can't you send your payroll company report? I'm like, how can I respond to that if I'm not allowed to say anything? But I said, I don't have a payroll company. Never heard back from them, never heard one more peep. And at 11 o'clock that morning, the funds ran out. So there I was, no money, no hope of, of getting funds. It was done. The money was gone. And that was a pretty debilitating moment. I immediately started writing letters to my state's, to my state's senators in the Senate about a second round. And I did get responses from them, which was great. I mean, obviously not from them, from their staffers, but, and eventually they did say there was going to be another PPP. And, after consulting with friends, peers, advisors, they said, stick it out with PNC, which I did. And I won't go into the boring details, but the fact is, there were 2 errors on my first application that didn't have to do with payroll. I didn't put my initials in 2 boxes, and that held up my application.
Yeah.
So then I was told my application was uploaded with 55,000 other applications, so you should be good. Again, days went by. In the second round of funding, nothing from PNC. The portal never changed other than your application is uploaded.
Right.
And I just lost it. I was talking to my accountant and I said, what am I going to do? He says, I have another client who had the same problem with PNC. They found this small community bank, Hartford Bank, which is in Bel Air, Maryland. I don't know if you remember from your Baltimore days. It's a very small hamlet north of Baltimore City. It's not even in Baltimore County. It's in Hartford County.
Sure.
And this bank was able to help this person. So I called the referral from this other client, and this woman, Mary Ann Bogarty, who didn't know me from Adam, was so nice. She took all my information, took my application, I sent it to her, and I had funds within 24 hours.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think that there's some lessons there, right? I mean, maybe the big banks were limited in what they could do. I don't know if you ever got an explanation, but it seems like you persevered. You were able to go and find an alternative through the help of your attorney and work to get that money, which was very important to keeping staff, as you described in the first segment. Let's talk about Maryland. Started, I believe, according to my folks, has started its reopening. My parents still live in Baltimore. But what does the reopening look like for you? We've got a couple minutes left, so I want to hear about your plans potentially for this reopen, what it could mean to your business, what does it mean to your staff?
Sure. In these couple of months that we haven't been doing our regular business, we've really educated ourselves on what this new normal is going to look like for our clients. And we've gotten ahead of the curve as far as what different types of businesses are going to need different than what they needed before. What kind of signage, what kind of floor decals, what kind of personal protection equipment, what kind of branded items for their employees still working from home. And we put together a catalog of items that we could provide to these clients upon reopening.
Wow.
So we're prepared to help, the restaurants and the hotels and, the offices, which has been great. We've actually supplied PPEs to the Baltimore City fire and rescue people and some other types of organizations. So we hope to continue to do that, as well as fulfill whatever needs they weren't getting while they were closed.
Yeah, and how's the morale of the team? I mean, they have to be your staff. I mean, they have to be very thankful that they have a job. So many Americans lost their job, but also thankful that it looks like things are reopening. You stuck with them, they stuck with you, right? It's a two-way street as an employer. I have to think that their morale has certainly been improved over the last few months.
Absolutely. I mean, we meet every morning for a production meeting, and every Monday morning I have what I've called a facts and feelings about the pandemic. I present facts, and then I present my thoughts on it, all geared towards keeping company morale high. I don't want people worried. I don't want people concerned. Is the company going to go under? Are our hours going to get cut? Are our benefits going to get cut? So I just kept them in the know, and that has led to them being much more, comfortable and optimistic about the future.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thanks, Paul. I want to say thank you on behalf of the audience for sharing your story. It's really an amazing story, and really impressive in how you persevered as an organization, as a leader, and also persevered with the Paycheck Protection Program. Thanks so much for joining us in the program, and we look forward to catching up with you once things reopen up in Baltimore and Maryland.
Thanks, Jack.
This episode of BRN AM, have a topic of interest or someone you think we should talk to? Drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the news in retirement, markets, technology, personal finance, and more, check out today's edition of The Morning Pulse. So until tomorrow, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aides, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-757-1451. That's 1-800-757-1451.